Okay, so last time we created the turret, guy that throws bombs on the path randomly. And before we continue, I will go to the code and comment it so in the future we know exactly what we wrote here. Okay, so the tower is pretty self-explanatory. So let's see the other ones. So this is the bomb. Okay, seems okay. Actually, now that I look at it, it doesn't seem that complicated. Doesn't seem complicated. Well, let's see that game manager because um, yes, here when an enemy reaches the end of the path and we lose a heart here, we also want to modify that UI. Well, let's do that first. Let's see. We need to add those UI hearts here in this array so that we can modify them. So let's go to the canvas, add all of these here, and let's see. Okay, actually, now that I look at it, we don't need the whole object. We just need the one that is full, the full heart, like this. And now, let's see. We start with 3 hearts, I believe. So we have a pull here that tells us if the game is over or not. So let's make that false by default. So by default it's false. And here when an enemy passes, we want to check um, if our number of hearts is 0 here. So after this, after we decrease it and destroy that enemy, we want to check if number of hearts is 0. Then we want to say game over is true. And also we want this to happen only if the game is not over. So here we'll say if game over. So not game over. If it's not game over, then we check for enemies um, that are reaching the end. And also, yes, before we decrease one from the number of hearts, we want to modify the UI. So we want that the heart at the position number of hearts. But since we're starting from 0, we will say -1, and then we set this to false. And, let's see if this works. So to test that, we'll stop the tower. We'll just let the enemy walk towards the end. Okay, so let's first find that turret and deactivate it. And let's see if this works first before we continue. Let's see. Okay, it doesn't work. And also another issue here is Okay, let's first make sure that a game manager collider is positioned correctly. It is. So it did not collide with this enemy for some reason at all. Let's see what layer is this. This is an enemy layer, and that game manager is in the default layer. So let's go to our settings, physics 2D, and before that, actually, let's create a layer for this collider of the game manager called game manager. And now we can modify it in settings. So we want to enable collisions between the enemy and the game manager. Okay, so here, this one. And now I have to give that the game manager the layer of the game manager. But let's first stop the scene actually. Yes. I need to stop the scene before doing that. So yes, this here. And now there should be collisions. See? Yep, it works. Okay. Let's see what else do we want. We want some colliders for the spaces where the towers will be. Um, yeah. So to do that, let's first try to see how big one tower is before we do anything. So to do that, we'll make a square, and let's see, let's position it above everything so we can see it. I believe it's one, the size of one, but I'm not sure. Let's see. And maybe we can place this perfectly here. Um, yeah, something like this. I believe it's 2.5 and 1.5 like this. And let's see if it is indeed correct. Yeah, looks correct to me. Um, we can actually do this manually. So let's first create an object to hold all of this, so we keep this organized. Okay, so I'll call this tower space, and then we can drag this in here. But let's make sure that this is 0 on all axes. Okay, let's drag this here, and let's see now. Yes, now we can duplicate those, but let's rename them to we call this tower holder. And we want no sprite render, but we'll do that later. Now let's just copy these, and do this manually. Okay. We could do this by code, but I prefer to do it manually. It's not that complicated. Nice. Now we have those folders, and first let's give them a collider, um, box collider 2D, and let's make it trigger because we don't want physics. And now we'll do two things. We'll create a tag and a layer for this. So our folder will be the tag, and also the layer will be the same. So I'm not sure we need both, but just to be sure. And now that we have the colliders, so we'll remove the sprite render. Okay, so this will hold the turrets, and let's create a script for this so we know if it is empty or not. So to do that, we'll go to our scripts, create a new mono behavior. Call this tower folder. Takes a while to create, and then we can. For this, we just need to know if this is empty or not. That's all we need to know. Because in the original game, you just press a button and spawn towers, and we'll select the one that is empty, one tower folder. Okay, so let's select all those tower folders and add the script to them. Now let's edit that script. All we want to know is if this is empty. So public is empty, and then by default in the start function we'll make sure that this is false. Sorry, true by default. And now we want to have all these placeholders, not placeholders, tower folders, in a list in the, or not even a list, an array in the game manager. So let's go to our game manager and create that. Tower stuff. So we can create a public, and we want the script. So tower folder, an array of tower holders. Call this tower holders. And then we can add those folders in the the inspector. Okay, because you'll see in a second. So first let's add those here. I don't know if you can just drag and drop them. Doesn't seem like it. Although we could do this by code, but let's see. So we have 3 times 6, I believe. Let's count those. Yes, 3 times 6. Okay, that's 18. So here in our game manager, we'll say this is. But let me ask you: do you want to see this done by code, or should I add them manually? Because we can also do it by code. So let me know if you want to do it by code or manually. Actually, let's do it by code so that you learn something new. So if we want to do that by code, then we need this object that holds all of these colliders. So to do that, we say here public transform tower space transform, and Now we want to give this array the correct size. All right. So the size of the array will be equal to new tower folder, and then we give it the amount of children that this object has that holds all of these sliders. So child count basically. And now we want to add those to this array. So to do that, let's actually comment this and say our folders array. So here we give it the correct size, and then we go from 1 to sorry, not if 4. From for 0 to the number of children of that object, so child count, and then we add this to the array. So our folders I is equal to that tower space transform that um, get get child, and then I also. But this is the transform, not the script. So then we have to get the script from that. Like this. And that's it. We created it without, we create this by code, not manually. Let's see if that works first. We need to add this parent object here in this, like this. And let's see if it works correctly. It should. Yep, it works. That's good. Okay, and now the thing is, before we can create the ability to create towers and upgrade them and combine them, we need to do we need to create a couple of towers first for that. So we'll create a couple of different towers, and also for the towers we want to add some UI that will display the level of that tower. And also I would like to give it a color, each level to have a specific color. Let's see, where is our tower? Tower. We did not save it as a prefab yet, so let's do that. Towers here. Okay, now we have it as a prefab, and we can go to the prefab, and we want to add some UI. We can do it two ways. Actually, this can be done in two ways. One is we add a sprite in the world space above this tower, so in a layer above this, and then we put a text mesh that will display the number. But we can also use UI, because I learned recently that um, you can create UI in the world space here. So where it says render mode, instead of overlay, you go to world space, and now it should be in the world space now. But for some reason, yes, uh, it is really big. We need to resize this a little bit. Okay, so it is still very big. It is now the size of the tower actually. Okay, so we'll reduce it a little bit. Does this have, no, it does not have anchors. Okay, so we want to reduce this by some size. Not sure how much. Maybe a little bit bigger. Okay. Let's see. Let's close these folders first. We should have somewhere here There should be some, yes, some. I have an image of a square so that we can put that UI. Okay, we need an image. Let's resize this um, 0.15 and give put the square here. We cannot see it for some reason, and I'm not sure what that is. Um, yes, we also have order in layer like the sprites. So let's place it above everything. Now I want to rotate this a little bit, 45 degrees like this. And now we want to add over this image the text that will represent the level. That is the combined level, not the uh, strength level. So text mesh, let's import it. We don't have it for some reason. We import also the extras because there are extra fonts which are much better than the default. Now we need this canvas to be in the middle of the tower. So we look into how to do that, and I believe yes, this is white. Let's make it black. But wait, what? Yes, it is too big also. Let's resize this as well. Yep, like this, and let's make it black. Oh wait, what? Yes, let's put it up. But why can't I see it? I'm not sure. Okay, so let's see. Yes, for some reason it is not working. This text. Let's see, maybe this. Nope. Oh, let's center it first. Oh, it is still too big. I see. That's still too big. Oh, and also it is rotated. We have to reverse that rotation. Uh, yes, let's make it 0 like this. Wait, this 45 and this one minus 45. So it stays like this. It is still too big for some reason, and I'm not sure if it's the font size or oh, it is actually the font size. I did not know that. All right. Okay, so now we have this, but let's make sure that this is centered. Yes, so x must be 0 here, and then I guess we have to reduce it a little bit, the size. But it's weird that you see I modified this, and for some reason um, the elements inside the canvas do not change. So I'll modify this directly. Okay. Okay, so something like this. And let's see. I don't think this is centered. I'm looking at it and it does not seem to be centered. Let's see if I flip this, maybe it seems that it actually is centered. Uh, let's make that test a different font. I don't like the default one. I don't know which one is better. This one is okay. Okay. And okay. Okay, yes, now we can continue to create some towers. But one thing that I don't have here is some projectiles. I do not have projectiles. Let's see, maybe I have, maybe there's something here. Yes, we do lack projectiles here. But before that, actually, let's create a new animation that will work on all of uh, these towers. So when a tower attacks or has some effect, we want to make this. We want to have an animation for that. But first, let's make sure that this UI works here, because right now the number is not visible. Oh, actually, it is. Okay, I see. What if I make this maybe make this black actually? Uh, so the UI, let's make that image black, and the text should have a color maybe, because it's more visible like this. Okay, let's test that and see. Um, it's actually hard to tell which one is better, but maybe place maybe okay. So maybe we make this white, or actually yes, the text should be black, and this image will be a certain color for each level. But actually, let's place this in a corner of the tower. Uh, so instead of 0 here on the well, actually, let's make this um, let's round this to another to 25 here, and then now the question is which color. Actually, okay, I'll place it on the right side, so like this. Yes, it looks better like this. Yes, like this. Okay. So now we can create that animation for all towers. And since we want this for all towers, we'll select the tower script which has all the properties that tower have in common. And in here we'll create a function for that, or actually not a function, a coroutine, because we want to modify the size of the tower by uh, over some time. So it needs to be a coroutine. Okay, let's comment this and say that these are stats, and then we want components here. Components. And for this, we just want actually, now that I think about it, we don't even need anything. We just modify the scale. Uh, but let's find what is the default scale before we do anything. So 1.5. So we say public float default scale, and then in the third function we want to save that. So is equal to transform that scale, local scale, local scale x. Okay. So now we have that saved. Then we can create a animation. Yes, we'll call this attack or rather, I don't know, attack for effect. Let's leave it like that for now. And for this, we want this to happen in some amount of time. So here we'll say float time. And now let me copy some script that I have saved here in a folder. Yes, and for this, let's see, we want the scale to modify the scale. And if we do that, we don't need this vector3 lerp. We actually need mathf lerp. But yes, so we'll say here create float begin scale and scale. Okay, so the begin scale, so the starting value should be the default. Yes, and then scale, I don't know. Yes, default scale minus let's say 0.2, something like that. Or maybe not. If you say that if you decrease like this, this will not work the same for every tower because some towers might have a different default scale. So for that, we want to actually subtract a percentage of that default scale. And to do that, we say here with minus and then default scale times 20 over 100. But if we do this, let's make sure that these are floats. This. Or actually, if I say like this, yes, if I say like this, it should work. And then 100f. So those are floats now. So we decrease 20%, and we can modify that later if we want. So the first animation, we decrease the size to the end, this end scale over time. So transform local scale, which is a vector3, and then here we say new vector3 because that is a vector3, and the value on the z will be 1 for it doesn't matter. And here we want to use lerp from the beginning scale and scale, and then that's d. So I will explain this one more time because this is a little bit complicated. But what lerp does is it selects a point between two values, and this t here goes from 0 to 1. 0 meaning the beginning, and 1 meaning the end. And then so this t goes from 0 to 1, meaning from the beginning to the end value over time. So you see that this t every time we go through this for, we add the difference between frames here, the difference in time between frames. So basically this without dividing by time, this means we count from this happens in 1 second, and then if we want this to be longer, then we divide by time. So for example, if this is 4, then this would last 4 seconds. So we want the x to be this lerp, and then the same for the y. because this recall the x and the y, and then for the z value, leave it the one. Let's comment this. For here we decrease scale. I don't know how to write decrease actually, but doesn't matter. And then yes, and then because you see this here goes from 0 to 1, but it's not exactly 1, then we want to make sure that the scale is perfectly at that position. So we say transform scale is equal to that end scale. So new vector 3, and then replace the end scale on both, one on the z. So that just to make sure that is the exact value. And then we want the other animation. So increase scale. So the same, but this time we start from the end scale to the beginning scale. So we switch those, and then here we change that as well. So now, because sometimes the attack of the tower might be faster than the animation, and in that case we want to stop the current animation and start a new one. And to do that, we want to make sure that the scale is default here when we start this animation. So before anything here, we want to say that transform scale, local scale. They change it to local scale. So new vector 3, and then we want that the default scale here. So the default. We do this just in case the attack happens faster than the animation and we have to reset the animation. Now that we have this, we need to add this to our behavior in the bomb thrower script. So here when we spawn this bomb, I guess we have to create animation as well there. So let's see how to do that, because it's not simple. Okay, I see. So we have here in our behavior, we have the reference to the tower script. So let's see, how can we do this? Yes, I know how. So let's go to our tower, and here we'll actually save this coroutine in a variable, so we can stop the coroutine. Uh, Attack animation coroutine. Okay. Um, and now we want to make this public because we accessed it from the other script. So we create a function public play attack animation float time, and then here we want to stop the current coroutine. So but first, so this also I forgot to say this is a void. So if you do that, we want to make sure first that the coroutine is actually playing. So we check if that coroutine is null. Sorry, but sorry, it's different than null. So if it is saved in this variable, then we want to stop it. So stop coroutine, and then we want to place the new. We want to reset the coroutine and save it in this variable. Stop coroutine. Attack animation, and then time here. So this we do this if the coroutine is different than null, and if it is null, so else if it is actually null, we just start it and see if it's available, and we can now use this function in the script. So here where it says so in the bomb thrower, when we spawn the bomb, we also want to say a tower script, so that script play attack animation, and maybe we should have some variable here that represents the length of the animation. I don't know, we'll experiment with this, I guess. Let's try something fast, like 0.5, actually 0.35, so a quarter of a second. And hopefully now if we go to our engine, our editor, we can see the animation. We have some errors that I don't know, so let's see. Yeah, that works, but you can see that actually let's make it full screen and see how it looks. Yeah, you see that's kind of slow. Uh, I don't know. Let's try this a little bit, and then we can start creating some other stars. And hopefully, but before that, please let me know how much time you have left. How much can you be here before we continue? Okay, so let's see. Yeah, that is much better. Yeah, that looks good, but maybe not decrease it that size that much. So here in author, where it says here and scale, so we want to decrease it not 20%, but maybe like 20, 12, sorry, maybe something like that, something like this. You have 20 minutes, okay. Right. Yeah, that's better. Yeah, that's much better. All right. Oh, okay. Well, I'll try to speed run another tour, but unfortunately, I do not have prepared projectiles. So instead, I think we'll stop here today. Um, and for tomorrow, I will prepare some projectiles because yeah, I do not have any projectiles, and the next the towers that are following will require projectiles. Okay, so guess we'll stop for now and continue tomorrow. Thank you very much for coming.